ओम पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते। ओम शांति शांति शांति। नमस्कार, मैं अखिलेश भार्गव वापस आपके सामने प्रस्तुत हूँ। We talk about Yam and Niyam. As we spoke the last time, the journey is from the evil to the good, from darkness to light, and from mortality to immortality. The process, I call it a process because there are very defined steps involved. Yoga calls it an 8-step process. It starts with Yam and it finally ends in Samadhi. Yam Niyam are the first 2 steps of you going towards your divinity and you becoming finally what you are meant to be, which is the divine. So let's start with Yam and Niyam. Yam and Niyam are the practical code of religious living under the Hindu scriptures. It is our code of conduct, if you call it, which is meant to take you to the divinity but yet being in the world. It is a code of living by which we live a harmonious life in harmony with the material world and also with the divine world that we aspire for. What are Yam and Niyam? Apart from them being benchmarks of living for us, we need to understand the concept. Yam in Sanskrit means to control. It means to restrain. It means to be able to be in charge of what you are doing. Niyam is daily practices. Niyam refers to daily principles or daily regulations that we follow in our living on a day-to-day basis. Why Yam and Niyam? There has to be a system of living. There has to be a codified way of living. There has to be a living which takes you to a very set direction. And that direction finally is Samadhi, which is God. Every scripture that we have defines Yam and Niyam. It is particularly found in the Purans. The Upanishads, because they are more into Vedic principles, they don't get into these practical daily concepts. But all the Purans, they have a chapter on Yam and Niyam, restraint and the daily rules of living. The Yam principles are generally considered to be 5. Some of them extend it to 7 and some even call it up to 10. But which are the 5 which we will find in every Puran? The first principle, the first restraint that you need to have is called following the truth. The second is ahimsa. The third is, we call it aste. The fourth, we call it aparigraha. And the fifth is brahmacharya. But what are we trying to restrain? What is it that we are trying to control? What we are trying to restrain or what we are trying to control is our senses. Why our senses? Senses are like horses. You control them, they take you to the right direction. Uncontrolled horses, uncontrolled senses do not go in any direction which is of any meaning. So, the purpose of Yam is to restrain your senses. Sanskrit calls it restraining your Vishay. Vishay is the senses. The first among them is considered to be ahimsa. Ahimsa is a very important pillar of Hindu thinking, Hindu philosophy, and it is the central theme of Yam. What is ahimsa? We popularly know it as non-violence. Let's get on to its more proper and deeper meaning. Ahimsa is defined in different scriptures differently. At a very plain level, it is defined as not hurting anybody, not causing harm to anybody. Ensuring that you are not the cause of some distress to anybody is ahimsa. In an interesting book called Ravan Samhita, it is defined in a more clearer fashion. Ahimsa has got 2 concepts attached to it. One is treating everybody as equals, and the second is being interested in the welfare of equals. I'll tell you again. The 2 legs are, one is treating everybody as equals. The second is being involved or aspiring for the welfare of everybody. Now, what does that mean? Let's come on the concept of treating everybody as equals. As soon as you get into this practice of treating everybody as equals, what does ahimsa do to you? It ensures that your conduct with everybody is good. It ensures that you don't hurt anybody. It ensures that you don't cause harm to anybody. It ensures that you don't come into as an obstacle for the welfare of anybody. You also ensure that you are not gossiping, spreading rumors, causing harm to the repute of somebody. It ensures that you are not the cause of anger on somebody, because you are dealing with them as you would deal with yourself, because to you everybody is the same. If you actually look at it from a more divine concept, Shakti Ma is actually into a concept of ahimsa. For her, all of us are equals, and for her, she is involved in the benevolence of all of us. So ahimsa is considered to be the pillar of the daily Hindu practices. Interestingly, one of the Purans, Agni Puran, refers to the ahimsa as the footprint of an elephant in a jungle, which is bigger than the footprint of any other animal. So is the case with religion or religious practices. Ahimsa as a virtue is bigger than anything else. It ensures that you are involved in the welfare of society. It ensures that you are not harming anybody. Physical harm is just a small part of it. It ensures that you are not depriving somebody of his rights. It automatically ensures you are compassionate. It automatically ensures you are kind. It automatically ensures you are honest. So many virtues in just one principle, ahimsa. The next principle or the next yam to be followed is satya. Satya is very interestingly defined in our scriptures. It is not just what is factually correct. It is that which is factually correct, but only if it is in the welfare or benefit of everybody. So, just because you have seen something, just because you have experienced something, just because you heard something, just because you have witnessed something, it does not make it satya unless it is for the benefit of everybody concerned. So, you may have seen something, you may have experienced something, you may have heard something, but if it is not for the benefit of everybody or it is going to cause harm to somebody else, it does not constitute satya. It is kept on the side. In another Puran, it is defined a little more differently. It says, satya is the prime principle, but bigger than satya is the principle of being polite, good and sweet to everybody. They call it priya vachan. Satya से बड़ा प्रिय वचन है. प्रिय वचन का मतलब ये नहीं होता है कि आप झूठा बोलेंगे, but a bigger principle than just being satya is ensuring that it is for the benefit of everybody. That is why I don't think there is something called a bitter truth, because truth cannot be bitter. It is meant for the benefit of everybody. So the second principle of daily living, yam to be followed, is satya. The third one is asteya. In Sanskrit, steya means to rob. It means to take away with force what belongs to somebody else. So it says, do not get into steya, be away from steya, so you follow asteya. Do not cheat, do not rob, do not take what belongs to others out of force or compulsion. The next one is aparigraha. Aparigraha is interesting. It says, do not unnecessarily accumulate things. In other words, do not unnecessarily desire. At a more specific level, it is defined as do not collect things. And the scriptures emphasize that even in times of great distress, do not collect. Do not get into greed and just keep for yourself what you need for your bare minimum living. That is aparigraha. We now come to brahmacharya. Brahmacharya is a very interesting concept. At a broad level, it means abstaining from sex. It means abstaining from sex in thought, word and deed. Well, how does that work? It is defined differently. For a householder, abstaining from sex means sex only with your partner. For a sannyasi, for a forest dweller, or even for a widower, it means completely abstaining. Now, why so? It is experienced and perceived that in pursuit of a higher divinity level, a dissipation of spiritual energy takes place when you are distracted by sex. So, here is a discipline on sex. For a householder, only with your spouse. For a sannyasi, none at all. Neither by thought, nor by word, nor by deed. These are the 5 popular yams as we know. Interestingly, the Narad Puran discusses 2 more. It says, do not indulge in krodh, which means they call another yam as akrodh. Do not get angry. Do not get angry, but under what conditions? It says, do not get angry or do not use harsh words using your position of authority, resources vis-a-vis others. So if you're a high officer, if using your high authority you're berating a younger one, only out of your authority and not out of any moral compulsions, that is not permitted. Akrodh, the second one that Narad Puran says is Anasuya. Anasuya is a very important one. Of course, in a very different niche of itself. It is human tendency to feel extremely sorrowful when you see the happiness of somebody else. The prosperity of somebody else is a matter of trouble to you. It is jealousy in its most elementary form. It says, do not get into suya, that is follow anasuya. Let's get back to our original prayer. Asadoma sad gamayaha, take me from evil to good. Tamsoma jyotirmay gamayaha, take me from darkness to light. And mrityuma amritam gamayaha, which is take me from mortality to immortality. Let us apply it to yam. Take me from asatya to satya. Take me from falsity to truth. Take me from hinsa to hinsa. Take me from violence to non-violence. Take me from steya to asteya. Take me from not stealing to not stealing. Take me from parigraha to aparigraha. Take me from not desiring to not desiring. And finally, take me to a good conduct of life. The next time, we'll talk about Niyam. Niyam is your daily principles of living. Niyam is what sets your daily habits, is what sets your daily timetable, and it what puts your yam into daily motion. If you like what you're hearing, then do not forget to subscribe to the channel. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Mudachyate Purnasa Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Namaskar.